Hello everyone, welcome back to Sandy Narrates. In this video, I'll be sharing 4 unsettling cases of people disappearing during mountain hikes. Each of these stories is filled with incredibly creepy, disturbing, and confusing details. Without wasting any time, let's delve in. Our story takes place in Zimbabwe, but before we delve into these mysteries, let's set the stage. Located within the breathtaking wilderness in Zimbabwe's eastern highlands lies Nyanga National Park, one of the first national parks to be declared by the country, which contains the highest elevations in Zimbabwe, with green hills and perennial rivers. Most of its terrain consists of rolling downland, sometimes lightly wooded. Mount Nyangani, standing as the tallest peak in Zimbabwe at an elevation of 2,592 meters above sea level, is situated at the heart of the park. In the southern region of the park, you can find Mutarazi Falls, a spectacular natural wonder in Zimbabwe. The park draws in thousands of visitors to the region every year. In local tradition, Mount Nyangani is said to be inhabited by powerful ancestral spirits and is deemed a sacred place. It is said to be haunted by vindictive spirits and all manner of supernatural entities and creatures. Legend has it that those who venture into the sacred areas of the mountains never come back. It is also said that if you come across a pot with no fire, or a brick of gold, or in some cases a colorful snake or strange creatures, it is the spirits tricking you, and that you had better ignore them and quickly move on. In recent decades, the mountain has witnessed a number of unsettling disappearances, where individuals have gone missing without a trace. In 1981, 2 young teenage daughters of Tichindepi Messiah, a former Zimbabwean finance minister, took off on a hiking expedition up the mountain and mysteriously never returned. The news of their disappearance swiftly captured the attention of the national media. Over the following days, an extensive search operation involving both air and ground teams was launched. Every possible route up the mountain was meticulously searched, but tragically, they were never found. To this very day, their disappearance remains an unsolved mystery. A few years later, the mountain's mysteries deepened with the unexplained disappearance of a 12-year-old student, Robert Ackhurst. It happened during a school field trip when he wandered away from the group and seemingly vanished without a trace. The incident had a devastating impact on Robert's teacher, who was so distraught over losing a child under his supervision that he tragically took his own life the following year. The 1980s witnessed at least 3 more baffling disappearances on the mountain, and in each of these cases, no trace of the missing individuals was ever discovered. The mountain's reputation for mysterious vanishings continued to grow throughout the decade. One well-documented case involves Zaid Dada, who went hiking with his wife and 2 friends on January 4, 2014. Reportedly, the rest of the group decided to abandon their ascent halfway up the mountain, but Dada chose to press on and continue his climb. According to park officials, the ascent typically takes at least 2 hours, with the descent taking more than an hour, depending on an individual's fitness level. By 4 p.m. on the same day, the 3 remaining members of the group became increasingly concerned when they realized that Dada had not returned and promptly alerted the park office. Following the incident, Ms. Caroline Washaya Moyo, spokesperson for the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority, confirmed that over 60 people, including military personnel, rangers, and relatives of missing tourists, were involved in the search. The team followed the typical route to the mountain's summit, but he was nowhere to be found. The next day, an extensive search was carried out using 3D satellite maps and infrared scanners, covering both the mountain's summit and the trail leading from the top to the base. Despite these thorough efforts, there remained no trace of Dada. Even the Air Force of Zimbabwe spokesperson, Squadron Leader Donovan Muroiwa, mentioned that they had sent a helicopter with 4 soldiers from the 1 Commando Regiment to assist in the search, but Zaid Dada was never found. Even after the official search concluded without success, Dada's grieving family resorted to distributing numerous flyers in multiple languages throughout the region in a desperate attempt to locate him. His friends and family were so determined to find him that they sought advice from local tribal chieftains, who organized traditional rituals to appease the mountain spirits. Regrettably, these efforts proved fruitless in bringing any resolution to the whereabouts of Zaid Dada. More recently, in November 2014, there was a curious case involving a 20-year-old British tourist named Thomas Gaisford. Gaisford was an adventurous second-year university student who had been granted the Wallace Watson Award Lectures, a scholarship aimed at supporting students on challenging expeditions to remote areas. The award's objective was to help students develop greater resilience in the face of physical and mental challenges, while fostering a deeper appreciation for diverse cultures and lifestyles. Eager and optimistic, Gaisford embarked on a solo journey to explore the summit of Mount Nyangani. However, his adventure would soon take an unusual turn. Around 3 p.m., he found himself engulfed by an exceptionally thick fog that descended from the mountain, completely enveloping him. Feeling disoriented and unable to navigate through this dense fog, he decided to establish a campsite and pitch a tent. His intention was to wait out the peculiar weather, which seemed to stretch on indefinitely, before attempting to descend the mountain the following day. Gaisford shared with park officials that he spent the subsequent 10 hours in his tent. He prayed and noticed what appeared to be strange creatures observing him from a distance. Nevertheless, he decided to follow the counsel he had received from a local to disregard any animal demonstrating strange behavior. One can't help but wonder, had Gaisford not established his camp and patiently endured the mysterious fog that had enveloped him, would he too have joined the ranks of the mountain's victims, disappearing without a trace? What is going on at the seemingly cursed Mount Nyangani depends largely on who you ask. If you ask the Manyika people who live around the area, they will spin fabulous yarns of angry wandering spirits, dark magic, and forbidding zones between dimensions that trap souls. They insist these missing people are being held captive by the spirits of the mountain, and that if only they had followed the rules, they would be alive today. Efforts have been made to encourage park officials to collaborate in establishing guidelines for adhering to the sacred methods and rituals aimed at appeasing the spirits of the mountain. Perhaps a more rational explanation for the disappearances on Mount Nyangani could be attributed to the challenging terrain and unpredictable weather conditions it presents. Its rugged landscape includes sharp drops, rocky footing, and trails that quickly become overgrown due to the continuous rainfall. All these factors can spell trouble for even the most experienced hiker, and the slightest mishap can leave someone stranded or injured in foggy conditions, unable to find their way out, or even worse, plummeting down a steep cliff to their death. Whatever the causes behind it, Mount Nyangani remains a mysterious place that marries stunning beauty with unexplained strange events and eerie disappearances. Indeed, what happened to those who ventured here only to never return? Were they the victims of the simple hazards of hiking, or did the mountain truly swallow them? Whatever the real reasons are, Mount Nyangani has remained true to its nickname, the mountain that swallows people. What are your thoughts on this supernatural narrative about the mountain? Do you believe it's a reality or merely a myth? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Like always, I want to say thanks for coming this far, and don't forget to subscribe too if you like the content. And please be extra nice to the like button. I have many more strange and mysterious stories on my channel that you might want to check out. See you in the next video.